Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, she gave up custody of her kids.
She's abandoned her son and daughter.
You judge her.
I'm not judging her.
Is she choosing her boyfriend
You have said that you two attack each other.
over her children?
I can't love them if I can't love myself. Why won't you fight for them?
You're arguing with her feelings. You need to hear what she's saying. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Well, 4 years ago, Jasmine says she was happily married with a daughter and one son from a previous relationship. But Jasmine's mother, Spendor, claims after the stillbirth of her third child, Jasmine quickly spiraled down emotionally, cheating on her husband before leaving him and giving him full custody of their daughter and giving up custody of her son. Take a look.
I'm beyond concern for my daughter, Jasmine.
I feel like she's self-destructing right now, spiraling out of control.
Growing up, Jasmine had a very tough childhood. When she was 17, she got pregnant by her boyfriend at the time. They had a little boy.
I moved in with my boyfriend and we were raising our son together. I felt that I was a really good mother and I was happy to be one, and it felt amazing.
When my grandson was 3 years old, Jasmine met another guy. Jasmine gave up custody of her 3-year-old son and moved out of state with her new boyfriend.
I was shocked that she left her son behind to be with a new boyfriend and very disappointed in her.
They got married and had a little girl together. She was a wonderful mother.
Married life was amazing. I felt like a soccer mom.
I finally felt that Jasmine was having a stable, normal life. That didn't last long. 2 years later, Jasmine was pregnant again. 5 months into her pregnancy, her world fell apart.
I remember feeling that something was very wrong. I wasn't feeling the flutters of him move anymore. The doctor told me that there wasn't a heartbeat.
Jasmine called me in hysterics and told me her baby was dead. I don't even have words to describe the pain. After the baby was delivered, they showed the baby to the rest of the family and had a memorial service soon after. Jasmine has never been the same.
Well, Jasmine then began dating her current boyfriend, Mike, who Spendor claims is physically abusive to her daughter. But Jasmine and Mike claim they're in love. Mike says Jasmine's family is too judgmental and have the wrong idea about their relationship. But Spendor and her husband Jeremie say they fear Jasmine is in great danger and are terrified that she could wind up dead. Take a look.
About a month after Jasmine lost her son, she met her current boyfriend, Mike.
Their relationship is beyond toxic.
They take pain pills together to intensify their sex life. The most disturbing is that Mike is a bully and he is physically abusive. Jasmine told me that he kicks her, he hits her, he chokes her.
When I think about Mike, my blood boils and pure anger and hate come to mind. He's manipulative and he's a sociopath. Since meeting Mike, she has completely abandoned both her son and her daughter.
Your eyes.
A few months ago, Mike was charged with a third-degree felony for choking and kicking Jasmine in the stomach. Mike wound up spending 2 weeks in jail. I have seen bruises on her chest, on her legs, on her arms.
They're like Bonnie and Clyde. They're in such a self-destruct mode that they're either going to kill each other or they're going to hurt somebody else.
Mike is sick, disturbed, psychotic. He is the devil.
Okay, it's good to meet you guys, and you're really concerned about her safety, right?
Absolutely.
But has she been with a husband or intimate partner that has been functional? Has she been in a functional relationship?
She was when she was married.
How did it fall apart?
It fell apart after she lost her baby.
Okay, and you're saying that up until that time, she was a good mom, she was a good wife, things were working.
things were working.
Somewhat. Even when she was married, she was still being promiscuous, and that's how she also met Mike, was while she was married.
The two of you say that she's been a thief since she was a child, right? That she prioritizes men over the children.
100%.
She's cheated in past relationships. She gave custody of the two children to their fathers.
Correct.
But you say when she is with the children, she ignores them.
Well, lately, yeah.
And she tends to blame her issues on different things. She blames them on the stillbirth. She blames them on pills. She blames them on you.
Correct.
And she can't keep a job. She can't function and keep rolling along.
Correct.
Now, when she says she blames you, in all honesty, she didn't have a great childhood.
That is true.
Is she replicating you at that age?
Yes, she did. Yes.
Because you were dysfunctional at that age.
Correct.
And didn't she spend from 6 to 12 being raised by someone other than you?
Yes, she did.
I kind of drew some parallels here between the two. You know, for you, you had your first child at 16, unmarried, and she had her first child at 17, unmarried.
Correct.
You had 4 children with 3 different dads. She had 2 children with 2 different dads. You gave Jasmine to her grandmother for 6 years. She gave custody to the dads. You're a former drug user. She abuses prescription pills. You were in a previous abusive relationship. She's had abusive relationships.
Correct.
So the generational legacy is undeniable here.
Correct.
Absolutely. And, you know, since I have changed, I became clean and sober 17 years ago, and we've been in counseling. We've tried to, you know, work with all of this. When we got Jasmine home, I always wanted her to feel and know that she was loved, and these are not the choices that I would have been making had I been in the right state of mind.
But you weren't. And as a result, she has a lot of resentment towards both of y'all.
Yeah.
She really relies on you in many respects. And I think you've held a lot of things together for her, which may be why she resents you, because you're the one that's the reality check for her. True?
Yeah. I just want to, I don't want her to know I love her.
Yeah. How do you feel about her?
She breaks my heart. She's a good, bright young lady. She's got a bright future ahead of her, and so do her kids. And I know she's got a good mother inside of her, and she's a good person. And she has been through a lot.
Why does she trust you?
I've always told her up front everything, and
I think Jeremie's been the consistent in her life. She didn't have
her
father.
She said as much. She said that she resents you, but relies on you. The guy she's with now, you think he's crazy and a...
Absolutely.
You agree?
100%.
Jasmine says she's not concerned about what Spendor thinks because her mother abandoned her as a child. Her words. We'll hear from Jasmine next.
Mike and I, our relationship is amazing. He is the definition of a soulmate. There's been a lot of domestic violence in our relationship, but I am not afraid. I feel that I am a great mother. I'm caring. If my mom feels that I need to step up to the plate and be a better mother, she can kiss my ass.
And later, you two have had a confrontation while you were here, right? Did you punch him?
Out of self-defense.
What were you defending against?
He was choking me.
When does it stop?
I've tried and I've tried to talk to Jasmine to get her to get out of this toxic relationship and to focus on her children. I really feel that she needs to see that what she's doing is wrong and how much danger she really is in.
My fear when she meets Dr. Phil, she's going to pretend like there's nothing really wrong and minimize the situation.
I just pray that Dr. Phil will be able to see through it and that he will be able to get through to her.
She says her relationship with her 7-year-old son is very distant. She sees her 3-year-old daughter every other weekend. But Jasmine also claims her mother, Spendor, and her stepfather, Jeremie, have no reason to judge what they believe are bad parenting skills or her relationship with Mike when her mother abandoned her as a child to be with abusive men herself.
Mike and I have been together for 1.5 years. Our relationship is amazing. He is the definition of a soulmate. I love Mike, and I want to stay with him for the long run.
On the surface, he looks clean-cut and a poster child for a church, but it's far from that.
My first impression of Mike was that he was a con artist. If you ask me, Mike is crazy.
Mike and I take prescription painkillers together for fun. When Mike and I take pain medication, things quickly spiral out of control. Once Mike kicked me in the stomach and hit me in the face, I ended up in the emergency room and they thought I had internal bleeding. There's been a lot of domestic violence in our relationship, but I am not afraid because we both know our limits. I have 2 young children. My children mean everything to me. And I feel that I am a great mother. I'm caring. My relationship with my son is very distant. I talk to my son 2 times a week for about 5 to 10 minutes. My daughter lives with her dad. My relationship with my daughter is very good.
If I had to give Jasmine a letter grade as a mother, it would be an F-.
I'm not spending more time with my children because their dads do not approve of Mike and our relationship.
Jasmine needs to step up to the plate and be a mother to her 2 small children.
I feel like I need my mom to just butt out. If my mom feels that I need to step up to the plate and be a better mother, she can kiss my ass.
Okay, it's good to meet you.
You too. I love you guys, and I'm sorry that it's gotten this far. This is so hard.
We love you, and that's why we're here.
That is why we're here, Jasmine. You know I'll always fight for you. That is why I did this, out of desperation. I want the cycle to stop.
How do you call us and tell us that Mike just kicked you in the stomach and you're going in for internal bleeding, and then call back the next day and tell us how you're in love, and we just don't understand that, and we should be accepting of him.
You know, when I look through the history here, we compared your behavior with your mother's behavior.
It's identical.
And, I mean, it's the generational legacy, what's passed on. I mean, children learn what they live. Mm-hmm. You've been with these different men, and no relationship has survived. Why do you think that is?
I think I just get bored, you know, and I tend to run if something bad happens.
When you lost this baby, the baby was how far along?
20 weeks.
Mm-hmm. And so you delivered. Mm-hmm. Were you able to spend time with the child?
Yeah.
How long?
A day. I slept with him.
So they brought you the infant deceased.
I didn't want to let him go. I didn't care if he was dead. I just wanted to hold my baby. I didn't want them to take him from me.
So you spent an entire day in bed with your dead child. Mm-hmm. And then they came for the child.
Yep.
And that was difficult to let go. Mm-hmm. Because I've been listening to and reading everything that you've said as we've asked you all these questions, and I think you've been very forthcoming, and I don't think you've grieved that loss as yet. I think you're still caught in the midst of that, and I think you're running from it. Mm-hmm. Well, Jasmine's boyfriend, Mike, is here. He says he wants Spendor and Jeremie to understand that he loves their daughter, and he is not this bad guy trying to abuse her. We'll be right back.
Everybody tries to make me out to be the bad guy, but I'm really not. Her family thinks I'm abusing her, In reality, it's usually just some slapping back and forth. Jasmine's family have only heard negative things about me. Jasmine is to blame for some of this.
And later,
You pushed me in somebody else's direction, so I'm somebody else's problem, not yours. You've done that to me my entire life. Why don't you help me and be there for me as a mother, not
there for you every
not as
single
an
time you call.
enemy?
In my eyes, Jasmine's boyfriend Mike is a predator.
I think that Mike can be very controlling. He monitors my phone, my calls, my social media, my passwords, my text messages.
When my daughter's on the phone, Mike will sit right next to her and listen to every word that's being said.
Mike is so manipulative. I know what is going on. He is very deceiving.
Mike thinks he can control and con anybody, but when he meets Dr. Phil, he's in for a rude awakening.
well, Spendor and her husband Jeremie, who is a stepfather essentially to Jasmine, say they are worried about their daughter's safety ever since she left her children to be with her current boyfriend, Mike. Now, Mike says Jasmine's family does not know him and should not judge him based on lies. Take a look.
I think everybody likes to point the finger at me. Everybody tries to make me out to be the bad guy, but I'm really not. I take full responsibility for my fights, but a lot of the time it's Jasmine that starts getting aggressive first. Jasmine's usually the one that throws the first punch. I've only laid my hands on her in reaction to her hitting me first. Her family thinks I'm abusing her. In reality, it's usually just some slapping back and forth. I don't have any fears of it getting out of control. I don't feel like the violence would ever escalate to the point to where somebody gets injured or goes to the hospital. I have a non-existent relationship with Jasmine's family. Her parents have only heard negative things about me. Jasmine is to blame for some of this. Jasmine lies to her mom. Jasmine told her mom I held a gun to her head. It absolutely never happened. Jasmine needs to stop venting to her mom about me. She needs to tell her family about the positive things and not exaggerate the negative. I feel like with Jasmine's parents, they need to give me a fair chance, a chance I've never had.
I take very seriously what we do here, and we don't stop cars out on Sunset and say, you want some help. I deal with people that come to me and ask for help, and we try to choose people that are sincere about it. And Mike, I don't demonize him. I don't even know him. I think he's walked into a hornet's nest here and is probably over his head. But he decided this morning that he would only appear on the stage if I would agree to put him up in a hotel for the rest of the week, buy him tickets to Universal Studio. You know, my team didn't even ask me. They know. They just said, no, we don't do that. We're about helping people here, and so we move on without him. You two have had a confrontation while you were here, right? Did you punch him?
Out of self-defense.
You punched him out of self-defense? What were you defending against?
He was choking me.
He was choking you?
When does it stop?
Yeah.
And here is a photo that Mike sent us of his bloody nose. He said, I left the hotel. Good luck with her. I won't be abused for anyone. I'm sure Mike would have a very different story about how this all happened. And frankly, I don't care how it happened. It needs to not happen at all. And you have said to us, and Mike has said to us, that you two attack each other and that you abuse each other. And that needs to not happen, and there is no theory under which a man should ever put his hands on a woman in anger, ever. What I'm interested in here is, do you want to change this legacy? You can either continue to live what you've learned, you can continue down the path that you are, going from one relationship to the next, to the next, to the next, and doing to your children what was done to you, or you can stop this right now.
I want to be done. right now.
Well, Spendor and Jeremie say that they want the same thing. They think these relationships cannot be healthy until she gets healthy. We'll hear more about all of that when we come back.
As a teen, Jasmine was always in trouble for stealing.
I absolutely do not trust Jasmine.
I catch Jasmine in lies all the time. One time she stole my ATM card and stole $800. She denied it until I told her that I was calling the police, and then she finally confessed.
Just a few months ago, Jasmine took $200 out of my wife's purse.
Jasmine will lie to me about what she was doing, where she's been.
I feel when it comes to Jasmine, you have to watch what she says and watch what she does, because you cannot trust her.
Your behavior suggests that you don't like yourself very much, and you don't like some of the choices that you've made. What do you say to yourself about you?
I'm a terrible mother. Definitely not beautiful like I used to feel. I'm not a good daughter, not a good friend. I kind of just beat myself up all the time.
We talk at 125 words a minute, but we think at about 1,300 to 1,500 words a minute. So that means you'll say, I'm a terrible mother. I have failed my children. You can say that to yourself thousands of times a day. And you've been saying this for a long time. When your mother keeps 2 children and sends you away, you start saying things to yourself. And while you were away, isn't it true that you were molested as a child? And when you went to report that, they didn't believe you.
Sure.
Because if they believe you, that becomes inconvenient. That disrupts the flow. And therefore, you just need to shut up.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
It was very hard.
And then later in life, you were raped. That person was prosecuted, correct? And then you've been abused in relationships. And then you've abused yourself. If you have a damaged personal truth, you think, well, I can put on a mask and be okay. But the fact of the matter is, you start to generate the results in life that you believe you deserve. And isn't that exactly what you're doing?
Yeah.
Isn't that exactly what you did?
Absolutely.
We talked to both of Jasmine's exes. We're going to find out whether, in fact, she is living a broken personal truth. Is she behaving consistent with failing to believe that she's a quality person? We'll be right back. Closed captioning provided by Jasmine says her mother is in no position to judge her when she gave her up to live a life of partying, drugs, and abusive men. Well, we've talked about that, and it's absolutely true. What bothers me is that you, really both of you, judge her about what she's doing as though you have nothing to do with it.
I'm not judging her.
Yes, you
I
are.
want it to stop.
No, but you are judging her. Both of you say it like she's totally responsible for it.
I know the pain that
I
I
believe you
feel
do.
doing it and seeing the pain that her kids are going to have.
We reached out to both of Jasmine's exes and fathers of her 2 children, and I want to tell you a little bit about what they said. It's critical. I'm going to tell you it's critical, but it goes to the point of what I'm saying about living your personal truth. Her son's father, Ryan, says Jasmine puts herself first, not her kids. She's an attention-seeking person, is also a pathological liar. She needs to realize her kids are her first priority, not her. Our son is so emotionally damaged by the letdowns his mom has caused that he won't even talk about her. I know her situation with an abusive boyfriend and being on drugs. She probably can't see it from the perspective as others, but I hope you guys can make a difference. Everyone else around her has tried and been burned so many times that most of us have given up on her. Her daughter's father, Jake, Jasmine has always had issues. Her issues are far before losing Rowan or meeting her current boyfriend. 2 weeks into our relationship, she moved in and stole $1,000 from my safe. I looked the other way. A couple of months after that, she cheated on me while dating and also cheated on me while we were married. Being brutally honest, I don't use the word mother very often with her anymore. She has a child that's only 40 miles away from her, and she sees her once a month for a night. Most of the time I have to give her money to buy her food, diapers, and things. I don't think she's a good mother at all. She used to be a great mother until she snapped. What do you think about what they're saying?
They're both amazing fathers. Both of them have had to step in and be both the father and mother to them.
Jasmine, they sit in here. The kids want their mom. That's why it makes me so sad. You felt that. Why won't you be there for them? Why won't you fight for them?
I can't take care of kids when I can't take care of myself.
I know, Mom. That's why
and I can't love them if I can't love myself.
That's
you
why we're
need to
here.
realize that.
I do.
No, you don't.
I absolutely
No,
do,
you don't.
Jasmine.
No,
That's why we're
you sit
here.
and tell me time and time again that I need to be there for my kids and I need to go visit my kids. Let me take care of myself and love myself again before I can take care of my kids or love my kids.
To the hospital.
No.
That is, I have done all that to try to help and fix you.
You push me in somebody else's direction, so I'm somebody else's problem, not yours. Why don't you help me and be there for me as a mother,
I'm there for you every single time you call.
Enemy. You sent me to my dad's, you sent me to my grandma's, you sent me elsewhere.
You're wrong. You
When I
asked her. You
overdosed
wanted
on
to go to my
drugs,
dad's.
you sent
listen,
me
you
to
need
a
to
different
listen.
place. You sent me to a different place so that I would be their problem. That's what you do, and you laugh. Why do you laugh?
I brought you
This
back
isn't
home.
funny.
Wait a minute.
This is so not funny.
You
Why
two
would
need
you
to stop
laugh?
talking for a minute. You need to stop talking. Perception is reality. And you're arguing with her feelings? Are you kidding me? You need to hear what she's saying. You're so interested in being right, you're not hearing what she's telling you is her reality.
You're right.
It doesn't matter if it's right or not. It's real to her. She has a right to her feelings.
You're correct.
I'm going to tell you what I think when we come back, and you better believe I'm going to put some verbs in my sentences.
Jasmine has 2 beautiful children. Jasmine's done such a poor job at being a parent. She's not even emotionally there for her children.
I really miss my children, and what hurts the most about not spending more time with my children is the fact that I don't have them.
My grandchildren miss their mom. Her son is starting to act out in school and with the other kids. Her little daughter just cries for her mom. They need their mom desperately. But Jasmine would rather chase after Mike than be a mom.
She can't give what she doesn't have. So she has to take care of herself first. There are 2 things in particular that have happened to you that I feel like have not been dealt with, and that I think you have open wounds. One is this molestation and rape. I don't think that's ever been dealt with. You deserve to close that open wound because it's affected your self-esteem, it's affected your self-image, and it's affected your internal dialogue. And I have to tell you, I don't think you have finished grieving for Rowan.
Yeah.
There's a place that I believe in very much called On-Site. And On-Site is a worldwide leader in very intensive workshops. And they're on 100 acres in the rolling hills in the countryside of Tennessee. And I've been there, and it is picturesque, it is serene, it is beautiful. And I think you deserve to go there. Then, when you have done that, I want to set you up with some professional help that I pick and a life coach. Will you do that?
Yes.
Okay. Coming up, he's a Grammy award-winning blues legend who is speaking out about a family secret that changed his life. His story next. Closed captioning provided by 8 Grammy Awards, has been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and is considered a living legend. He is one of the greatest blues singers and guitarists of all time. I'm talking about Buddy Guy. He has influenced such musical greats as Eric Clapton, Jimi Hendrix, and Stevie Ray Vaughan. But now at 82, Buddy has a new song in his heart, and it's very personal. In 2008, his youngest brother, Phil, who was also a musician, died from prostate cancer. So Buddy Guy has made it his mission to spread the word about the disease. Now, Pfizer Chief Medical Officer Dr. Frida Lewis Hall met up with Buddy and his daughter, Carlise, at his Chicago Blues Club, Legends, to learn more. Take a look.
Well, I have to tell you, I am so honored to be in a place of legend with a legendary man.
Well, thank you for coming here.
Welcome, Carlise. Thank you so
Thank you.
much for joining us. I want to get started talking about you.
I didn't never think I would be good enough to be a professional musician, and I learned a lot from Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, the greatest blues players that I ever met.
Now, you mentioned your brother Phil. Tell me about his music and how you all started to work together.
First of all, he was left-handed, and he taught himself how to play, but he played it right-handed like me.
Let's talk a little bit about his journey with prostate cancer.
We would not tell if we were ill and bad enough for somebody to know, so we could see something early enough.
My Uncle Phil didn't reveal to us what his issues were from a health standpoint.
And I walked in the hospital, and he looked at me and said, "I don't want to worry you." Yeah.
I remember the look on my dad's face when they told him, we'll give him like 10 days. And he shortly thereafter died.
You've really taken the terrible situation of your brother's death and turned it into such a powerful mission. Yes. So tell me a little bit about what is PCA Blue.
Our goal is to bring awareness in what my dad is trying to do to just get him to get checked out.
I mention it to people, get yourself checked, period.
You could just say one thing to people, what would that be?
Don't wait too late, get yourself checked for prostate.
I love it.
Well, please welcome Pfizer's Chief Medical Officer, our really good friend, Dr. Frida Lewis Hall. Thank you for being here again. Now, Dr. Frida, Buddy's goal to educate men about prostate cancer is so important. So tell us more about this disease.
Prostate cancer occurs in the prostate, which is a reproductive gland in men. About 1 in 9 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in his lifetime. And prostate cancer is the second most common cause of cancer death in American men. Prostate cancer, in most cases, occurs as men age. So the average age of diagnosis is 66.
Wow. So age is a risk factor. So what are some of the other risk factors associated with it, not just age?
So family history is an important risk factor. Right. The risk for developing prostate cancer doubles if you have one first-degree relative, that would be a father or brother, that's affected. Now, race is also a risk factor. For reasons that are still unknown, African American men have higher incidence rates of prostate cancer than any other racial or ethnic group and are more likely to die from it. If you have one of these risk factors or others, you should talk to your doctor about what screenings are right for you.
In early stages, and even as the cancer progresses, prostate cancer is really asymptomatic. It just doesn't have any symptoms, right? So at what age should men start having these prostate exams?
So the American Cancer Society suggests that men have the conversation with their doctor about screenings at about the age of 50.
Okay.
Now for those with high risk, age 45.
Okay, when symptoms do appear, what should men look for?
Some symptoms to look out for include problems with urination flow and frequency, or pain and burning sensations when you urinate.
Right.
Also, blood in urine or semen,
Right.
painful ejaculation,
Right.
and hip, back, or pelvic pain
Right.
that doesn't get better. Now, some of these things can be symptoms of other things, like infection or an enlarged prostate due to aging, but it's important if you notice any of these things to talk to your doctor as soon as possible.
Right. Some men are going to face anxiety, depression, difficulty in changes in their sex life and accepting all of that. So they may be reluctant to take medications, seek treatment, and accept the treatment. So I really encourage men, just man to man, to go have this checked. I get it checked on a regular basis, and I encourage everybody else to do it.
Early diagnosis is critical. And if you're diagnosed with prostate cancer, work with your healthcare team to monitor your progression, but also to seek out support, because that's so very important. And of course, you can go to gethealthystayhealthy.com for more information on prostate cancer.
Yeah.
And we've also put some exclusive excerpts there from my interviews with Buddy Guy,
Oh, yeah,
which were
great.
really special.
Yeah, and I always say, Robin and I love this gethealthystayhealthy.com. I highly recommend it. So, all right, well, we're out of time. I want to thank all of my guests today, especially Buddy Guy and his daughter Carlise and Dr. Frida Lewis Hall. We'll see you next time.